Okay, we're gonna do the last portion of the assignment here. So I'm just gonna go up to the aside options. I've opened up the file house design aside 1. It's right here. And so we're just gonna kind of go through the steps one at a time. So we've done this one. Place the door for every room. Place the door so that its center line is 1,000 millimeters away from the wall of the adjacent room. So this should be something you guys already know how to do, but let's just do it together anyway. We pick a door. So architecture tab, click door. Doesn't matter what door you pick, and just kind of hover over any wall and you'll see that you're able to insert a door there. It doesn't matter if it's on the inside or outside. We can flip those later. I'll show you how. But if you kind of jiggle around the door, you'll see that underneath it there's these blue dimensions that are changing. So you can just click when it says 1,000, and you can do it again and again. And this gets pretty, once you're able to do it, you can do it pretty quickly. Or it doesn't matter, if I click there, for instance, and then I click the door, I can always just change this to 1,000 after the fact, and it moves it to where I want it to be. And these ones are aligned to the left hand side. Okay, sounds good. Door. I'm going to do these on the outside just to show you how to flip them after. Ah, I missed that one, no big deal. Whatever, I'll miss that one too. Okay, I'm just going to go up here, change that, and now to flip them, I just click this little vertical arrow and it flips it to the inside. And if I click the other one, it flips it so that the door opens towards the wall. That probably makes more sense if you think about it from a design point of view. It's less likely that somebody's going to be standing right there and get whacked by the door as opposed to on the other side. I wonder if I select a bunch of these doors at once, if I can flip them. No, it won't let me. I have to flip them individually, I guess. I'll make it quick. Okay, one more. There we go. Okay, so we've got this. Now the next part, under the annotation tab, use the align dimension command to dimension the bottom run of walls. So I guess we're doing the bottom walls. Dimension the walls of the smaller rooms as a string and hit EQ to constrain them. Now that instruction is a little bit incorrect, but we're going to do it anyway. I think what it meant to say was something a bit different. So we're going to go from architecture to the annotate tab, click aligned, and I'm just going to pick each wall opening as a string. And then I'm going to pop this dimension out here. Now, what you might notice is you have these little locks that you can click or unclick, and you've got this button up here with a cross through it that says EQ underneath. Let's click that EQ. And let me undo that for a second. Let me just delete this door to make the point a bit more obvious, and let me make this room super tiny. Okay? So now I'm going to click this and I'm going to hit EQ. It's going to make all the rooms an equivalent size. So it's going to space them out into equally sized rooms. The other thing I can do, let's go back to here. Let's say I constrain the size of this room. So this room always has to be 2,000. And now I grab this wall and I move it. It's going to move the whole room with it because this wall is stuck 2,000 millimeters away from this wall. Or I can drag it back. To unstick it, I just undo the button that does the lock, and I can move them independently again. So this is an example of parametric design, how you can sort of start to group certain things together based on distances. So let's say I want this door to always be 1,000 millimeters away from this wall. What I can do is I can click the align dimension, and I have to do that. I have to set it up with a dimension. I can't just click it and expect it to be there, right? It's not there in this case. These are temporary dimensions. This is a real dimension. I can check off the lockbox, and now if I move this wall, the door comes with it. So this is kind of nifty for doing a lot of things quickly. but you have to be careful how you do it, because it's easy to start having things create conflicts. If I set up a bunch of things that have to be locked and then I start moving stuff around, one set of rules can start contradicting a different set of rules or sort of locks, and you can end up with errors. And we'll start to get into that as we learn more about parametric design when we do families. But this is just me trying to show you that stuff, what different things exist. The last thing we're going to do, in the options for align dimension command, change pick to entire walls, click options. Okay, so here it's just trying to tell us that instead of going and dimensioning everything individually, like so, what we can do is we can click the align tab, and you've got a couple of options here. So instead of it lining up with the wall center lines, you can go wall faces, and now it snaps to the individual wall faces. I'm going to set it back to center lines for now, and here instead of picking things individually, you say entire wall. Now if we do that, you only get one dimension. Not that exciting. But here if we go to options, we can check off the box that says wall, that we want to dimension the openings, and we don't want to do centers, but I'm going to leave it so I can show you what centers does. Annotate aligned. I guess we have to go on the side where the openings are. See, it's going to give me the center of every opening. Not exactly something that's very useful. So let's go back to aligned, options, widths, and now hit OK. Pick that wall, drop it down, and it gives you all of the openings at once. And these come with their same separate set of locks, or you can say equivalent. See here it's going to say, this is an example of it starting to break rules, because it's spacing out all the doors evenly, but it's also, there's walls that intersect a door in this case. It's highlighting these. I suppose there's some issue with a constraint there as well. So again, we'll start to cover those type of troubleshooting issues later, but just so you know what exists, you can dimension things quickly and all at once using the pick wall command. Annotate, align dimension, pick entire wall, or you can do things individually and select things individually, and then you can play around with the spacing of it, and you can lock certain proportions and move stuff around. Okay, that's it. That was the aside lesson. Thank you. Have a good one.